What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of the Overview. I'm ChanManV, joined, of course, by my co-hosts FishStix and Shayed. How you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. I did wake up with a sore throat, so apologies if I'm sniffling and coughing a little bit today, but the show must go on. And we actually have a ton to talk about. We've said that every week, and it's actually still the case, in my opinion.
It's beta.
There's a lot to cover this week.
That's right. Well, hopefully you're feeling better. Too much late night Overwatch is what it is. You got to take care of yourself, man. That's what you got to do.
I know.
Shayed, how about you? How's your week been?
Doing good. A little busy, but doing good.
All right. Okay, all right, cool. And we've got a guest, of course, our first time guest here. We've got SureFour from Cloud9. Welcome, buddy.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us today. Got lots of stuff.
Thanks for having me.
Lots of stuff to talk to you about, especially meta. I know Ben's just going to grill you on meta a little bit later today, but we got definitely...
I'd like to, yes.
Yeah, jam-packed show today for you guys. We got to talk about the latest patch. You know, it's been like a week and a half since our last show, so going to go over the patch that came out midweek last week. Jeff Kaplan had a few comments about matchmaking, which I thought was interesting, that we can touch a little bit on. Of course, some things maybe we've noticed in the game, you know, just from the standpoint of what we'd like to see change. Our wish list is kind of what we would call it each week. Esports, just competitive events. We'll get the lowdown on everything there, and then of course we'll do Q&A with you guys at the end of the show. Tweet all your questions to the Overview GG, and we'll try to go through as many as we can. We might take some in chat too, so just be prepared for either one. Okay, latest patch, which again came out last week. We've had like a full week to play with all the changes now, so I kind of want to get everybody's thoughts on the changes. We'll kind of go through each one of them. First off, the map, Ilios. What do you guys think of the new map? It's a King of the Hill map or game format. Do you guys like it? Started with our guest.
I like it so far.
You like
it?
Okay.
It's a change since a lot of the other maps cater to like close quarters combat.
Mm-hmm.
Since there's a lot more aerial you can use, so snipers get in it, and Pharah's get in it, and Junkrats get in it. But then you still have the normal comps as well. So it's a good change from the other ones.
Yeah. You can definitely notice that, especially with the second round where there's a giant hole in the middle of the objective.
Pit of death.
It's the Sparta pit. That's what it is. What about you, Shayed? I know you've got a differing opinion.
My goal for this week, well, okay, first of all, I'm not a huge fan of the new map, but my goal for this week was to play Lucio and be able to wall ride myself back up the pit, and I did it this week, and I'm very proud of myself.
Wow, that's cool. You're gonna have to show me.
And it was totally not on purpose.
Oh, really? You're gonna have to show me. You're gonna show me a picture.
I got Pharah like concussive shot down into the pit, and then I just was like not dying.
Just spiraling back up to it. That's cool, man. I didn't even think about that.
I remember a Lucio trying to do that, and I just flashbanged him when he fell down the lines.
That's terrible.
Man, that's brutal. That's brutal. FishStix, how about you? You like that map?
I mean, I think it goes without saying at this point that the Blizzard art team is amazing, and the map is gorgeous. As basically all of the other maps, like every single map is unique and interesting in its visual style. Honestly, I've just been playing pubs, so I've only had a chance to probably play it like 5 or 6 or 7 times at most at this point. Yeah. I like it. I agree with SureFour. It's a little bit different than the rest of the maps, especially that second objective with the big pit. Like there's a huge pit there, but you actually don't get knocked into it very often because the point is massive. It's by far the biggest point, capturable point in the game. So there's just so much space to capture there, which makes it a somewhat unique map, in my opinion. I don't know if I've ever actually made it to the third.
I was just to say
capture point on that map.
I have not.
I only know the first 2.
I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet, and I know my son's actually played it, so he's talked about how he doesn't like it because Hanzo just kills him all the time on it. I guess because you're shooting down on it. I don't know. SureFour, have you played it?
Well, it's like the third map. You have like a bunch of columns, and it's like very Greek, but it's like just a straight line for both teams. So in the middle is the point. So if you die, you're just running straight to it. There's no like side paths to it, or like it's not like circular. It's just like a whole big rectangle.
It's
in
the middle Overwatch style.
Yeah, pretty much. And in the middle, there's a ramp down to the point, and you fight around that. So that one's really good for snipers and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay, That's pretty much how he described it. So I think he was right on with it. But yeah, just to get to your point, Ben, the artwork it's Santorini. If you guys have never been to Santorini, it's a Greek island that this thing is obviously modeled off of, and I just happen to have that just happens to be where I spent my honeymoon. So it just like brings back a lot of really good memories, and it's super beautiful, like the island. So they did an awesome job on that. But yeah, it'll be good. Do you think we'll see a lot more of that map in competitive play?
Probably not, because everyone bans Koth maps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Except for you guys who seem to do really well in Nepal.
Yeah, we like Koth maps.
We like.
I seem to remember you saying actually in the post game interview that you don't think you can lose to anyone on Nepal. Is that right?
I don't remember if Kyle said that or
Okay.
not, but we're pretty.
Oh man, am I
confident
mixing
Nepal.
things up? I thought
Yeah.
I thought you had said that, but
No,
that's
it was
said
Kyle on it, and the winner is
Okay.
gonna be not me.
I guess
Fair
what
enough.
do you like most about Koth maps?
Well, it's the fact like on payload, defenders have a lot more time to like do what they want, so that they can set up around how far you're pushing. But on Koth maps, once you have the point, you just have to hold around it. And since I like playing Tracer on Koth maps, I can always just like annoy them, and when they're pushing in, just push in behind them because they're thinking they have to go in. And on Nepal, on the first point, that top left area where you have the high ground, it's really hard to take back when someone has control of it.
Yeah.
So a lot of teams usually just push right to the left to the point. So then they're in this choke. So you can usually just play around what they're doing a lot.
I see. Well, that's definitely cool. Why don't we talk about some more of this patch? Trying to look at some of the the changes to the heroes. We can just kind of jump to that. There's definitely some progression rewards. I think we've all seen all the new the skins and lots of cool things they added there. But let's talk about Junkrat.
Still no Genji ultimate.
Yeah, no Genji. Yeah, that's true. All right, Junkrat ultimate cost increased by 25%. I think in the previous show we were mentioning that the tire just seemed to be coming very, very often, and it was doing quite a bit of damage. I think it's at a good spot now. What do you guys think?
I think the tire still has a pretty big range. On
Yeah,
its
the
ult.
radius.
It's pretty huge.
Dude, that's totally my thoughts too.
But he still builds ult pretty fast with just the amount of spam he puts out.
Yeah. Shayed, what do you think?
I'm a little tired of getting one shot by Junkrat tire still, but you know, it's fun to like watch them be played and get like 4-man kills.
You know what's funny about
Tires.
you know what's funny about the tires, that every time, on my point of view, I'm so far from the tire, right? And it's just like, oh, it's the most frustrating when I die. But then when they show the replay of it, it's like I'm much closer to the tire than it appears on my screen.
Good old ping.
Yeah, good old ping is right.
Dying around corners. That's what we
Yeah.
all love.
Totally. Lucio changed, obviously, health increased back to 200. I think a lot of people love that. And then Sonic Amplifier damage reduced. And then his ultimate also was increased by 25%. FishStix, what do you think?
Lucy, I've played him in a couple pubs and high MMR pubs, and also one or two pre-mades. And he still feels very viable, but he does so little damage now. It's really tough. Previously Lucio was in a point where he could actually fight, and now it kind of feels like he really has to be relegated to more of the traditional support role where he stays behind his teammates. Where I did really like being the aggressive Lucio in the past, and we've talked about this before, but I'd really, on a personal level, prefer to see supports that can fight. And if they're overpowered, then maybe what I'd rather see them tune down is the rate of healing or their support abilities, rather than making it so they can't really fight anymore. So I wouldn't say that Lucio's in a bad spot. I actually think he's a pretty balanced character right now, as far as the supports go. But playing him is a little bit less fun, that's for sure. Although I will say one thing. I like the projectile size being reduced. And this is coming from a player. Lucio is like one of my top most played characters. But his projectiles were so massive that you could just spam them through doorways and just get like tick, 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 tick all the time. just from spamming. So I like that change, and I actually hope that they do that with more characters' projectiles, to be honest.
Shayed, what do you think of Lucio change? I think you have a
I
different
think
opinion about this.
I do, and I think Ben and I, or FishStix and I, have very different like views on like support play in general. So like I'm the exact opposite of him. I would rather them nerf the damage of someone like Zenyatta or Lucio as opposed to like reduce their healing, because that's the part of support that I like the most, is like the healing my team part of it. Like I could care less necessarily about like my ability to kill someone as opposed to my ability to keep my team alive. So I actually like the Lucio change a lot. I think his ability to like 1v1 someone was way too good the way it was, and to have his damage brought down a little bit doesn't make him any less viable. He's still an amazing support. It's just maybe makes him a little less fun to play for people that were playing him because of his amazing 1v1 potential.
Yeah, I think I'm on the side of Shade too. I don't. I think Lucio was a little too strong from the standpoint of 1v1ing people, and that's kind of the point of supports. I know, Ben, you like the fighting support, the fighting medic, basically, and he does have a little bit of that. At least he has the ability to kill somebody if he needs to, more so than like a Mercy. Breaking out the Blaster Mercy is
Well, look, I don't have a background in MOBAs. I don't really even know. I don't like. I feel like I need to play MOBAs now, because there's a lot of questions I have about traditional support, traditional DPS, that type of thing, in MOBAs. But my only point of reference, and SureFour will know this as well, is like dirty bomb enemy territory, where a medic in a lot of cases can fight basically as well as any other class, or close to it. But I'd be curious to hear SureFour's thoughts on the Lucio changes.
Well, I think the Lucio changes are good, because if a support's damage is just too much, you're just going to see a bunch of duplicates of them. Like sometimes you would see double Lucio, because he can heal at the same time as well as fighting, and that's what you're having the problem with Zenyatta right now. He can heal, debuff, and snipe people at the same time. And if he discords someone, he has the highest damage in the game with headshots. He can just 1v1 anyone. And I don't know why they have it so Zenyatta can put Discord and then see where the person is. That just makes him even harder to kill for flankers.
Really
So it's like, but it makes sense that Lucio would get a damage nerf instead of a health nerf, because if you just nerf healths, it's like you just get weird things happening, and damage just makes more sense because he is a support. And I think a lot of the enjoyment of Lucio players is when you're in a competitive scene and you get those speed boost combos where you go in as a team and just your speed boost is the thing that helped your team win. I think that's what a support player should be like. But so they need to do something with Zenyatta, because right now he's out of hand right now.
The Zenyatta, the Genji Tracer player complaining about Zenyatta. Shocker.
I'm gonna say we're the ones that kind of brought Zenyatta into the meta, so no one
You're
else.
also the reason why you would hate him too, because being able to track a Tracer where she's going would probably be a pain in the butt.
Well, it's not even Tracer. At least Tracer, you can take it off. Genji, it's on you forever. But like this new meta, it's weird because it's taking away from like the team coordination of the game and more just give these two players harmony orbs and let them do whatever they want while we just stand in the back firing artillery shots and we see what happens. And it's funny because like they nerfed Genji's health, but now it just created the problem of Symmetra. Her shield's a little bit too overpowered now, giving everyone else an extra 50 health. So it messes up the whole balance as well, because like Zen's balanced because he has 150 health, so a lot of people can kill him. But then you add a Symmetra in the mix, and now he has 200, so he's in the same problem area as everyone else. So now Zenyatta has 200 health, and he can kill everyone that wants to fight him.
And it regens.
And it regens if you're not getting healed. So it's like, wow, now Symmetra is a problem too. And Symmetra offense only came into play because people are like, well, Genji's health got nerfed to 150, so how do we bring it back to 200? Oh yeah, we could just bring the Symmetra shield, and then we'll just push with that.
Okay, well, guys, I think we're having a little bit of a lag issue, so let me switch servers real quick.